सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अखण्डं सच्चिदानन्दम् अवाङ्मनसगोचरम् आत्मानमखिलाधारम् आश्रयेभीष्टसिद्धये अर्थतोऽप्यद्वयानन्दान् अतीतद्वैतभानतः गुरूणाराध्य वेदान्त सारं वक्ष्ये यथामति। So who is supposed to give summary?
I'll try summary.
Okay, try.
Let's try. We are doing this. We're studying the Tattva Jnanani Sadhanani.
Tattva?
Jnana Sadhanani.
Tattva Jnanani Sadhanani.
Tattva Jnana Sadhanani. And 4 sadhanas are talked about here. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasnam and Samadhi. The last 2 can be clubbed together to make it 3. And since these Shravanadi are necessary in appropriate degrees as needed for Aparoksha Jnanam, till we are getting Aparoksha Jnanam, and therefore these sadhanas are talked about here. First Shravanam is talked about. Shravanam is Shadvida Lingaihi Ashesha Vedantanam Advaita Brahmani Tatparyavadaranam. So here it is ascertaining the purport of all Vedanta Vakyas to be in non-dual Brahman. By how? By the method of 6-fold indicators. And thus Shravanam culminates in Tattvavadaranam. And then it culminates in Tatparyavadaranam. Then the second is, what are the 6-fold indicators? They are said with the help of a Smriti quote. Upakramaopasamharo Abhyaso Apurvata Phalam Arthavado Upapatti Cha Lingam Tatparya Nirnaye. And these 6-fold this thing will help us understand the Tatparyam of a section, chapter or text. Now these 6 are explained, each one of them separately. The first one explained is Upapatti Upakrama Upasamharo Upapadanam. That is a presentation of the subject matter in the beginning and in the end. The logic used here is Yaha Arthaha Prakarnasya Adav Ante Cha
Ekarupataya
Pratipadyate Te Saha Eva Tatparyartha. So that means whatever is presented in the beginning of the chapter and in the end of the chapter in a same uniform manner, in the same subject matter is presented, that alone is the Tatparyam of the list. And here Swamiji gave a nice example of headlines.
Okay, let us go to the next one, because we have 6.
Then Chandogya Upanishad
you have to tell me the summary of the last class.
Oh, okay. And then I'll leave out this rest.
Second, you can tell, we started yesterday only.
Phalam. We started
Phalam.
with
Okay.
I thought briefly,
Briefly you can tell, but not like this.
No example then.
Okay.
Then, or example just.
No, you just tell me what is second. And tell me
second is Abhyasa, which means repetition. And repetition is repeating again and again. And the logic here is that whatever is repeated in the middle of the text is the Tatparya, or the subject matter of the text. And this is the second one, and this is shown with the help of Chandogya Shruti. The Tattvamasi is repeated 9 times. Then the third one is Apurvata. This is presented in 2 ways. One is as uniqueness, and the other is Pramanantara Avishekha.
Uniqueness is same as.
Means
no
it is the
difference.
unique subject matter of the Shruti.
It is the same thing. I didn't say in 2 ways.
I mean, what is as a unique subject matter of the Shruti and the Pramanantara Avishekha.
That is same thing. It is the explanation of that.
That which is not presented, the other means of
That's all.
knowledge.
That is what? Uniqueness of subject matter is subject matter being not available for any other means of knowledge. They are not two different things. Only you use two different
two ways
sentences.
of looking at it.
But it is the same thing.
So that which is presented, which is not presented by other means of knowledge, and which is presented only by Shruti, because otherwise it will have Ativyapti dosha, Mishraji, because Chakshu will come into the picture. If you say only by the, not by other means of knowledge.
Purvata in general means that only. But in this context it refers to Shruti.
Shruti also. So that was the third one. And a lot more on that, but then I'll just leave it. And then Phalam, that's where we were. Prakarna Pratipadasya Atma Jnanasya Tadanushtanasya Va Shruyamanam Prayojanam. That means the benefit which is mentioned of the self-knowledge, which is the purport of that chapter, and also additionally the benefit mentioned of the pursuit of that knowledge. Both of them is called phalam, and that phalam becomes an indicator of what is the subject matter, because that which is result is told, that is the subject matter of this thing. And here the example is given from Chandogya Shruti, Acharyavan Purusha Veda, which is an example for Tadanushtanasya Shriyamanam Prayojanam, because the one who follows the scriptures taught by the Acharya and does seva, etc., that person is the one who knows. And knows here means Brahma Atmatvena Janati. That means one who knows Brahman is oneself. Then this, and then the second part of it, Kavadeva Chiram, up to there, shows that the result of Atma Jnanam, which is Jivan Mukti and Videya Mukti. And,
Next.
That is this. Then the next one is Arthavada. Arthavada is Prakarna Pratipadasya Tatra Prasamshanam Arthavada. And also you can add Nindyartha. That means
What is it?
Ninda Rupa. That means praising of the subject matter of which is being talked about, which is the subject matter of this chapter, or criticizing that which is opposite of that, is both called Arthavada. And in this Arthavada, it is different from Phalam, because it is Phalam is factual and Arthavada is figurative. And second thing is, the example given is from the Shruti, which shows that everything, when whatever the context, Udalaka, he says that, he shows that when the Karanam is there in the Karyam. So whatever, if the Karanam is known, the Karyam is everything is as well known. And so he shows that he gives Arthavada by showing that the one who knows this becomes Sarvagya, like figuratively. So this is the this thing. And the opposite example he gave was Devani Pashu. That means if
What is it?
Devanam Pashu.
Devanam.
That means you become like an animal to gods, because you don't know that this
Load bearers.
Yeah, you become a load-bearing animal because you don't know this Brahmatma.
If one doesn't know, then he is like Pashu
like
of gods. Yeah.
Then the sixth linga was Upapatti, that is logic, and Prakarna Pratipadya Sadhane Tatrapashuvamana Yukti Upapatti. So the logic which is mentioned in various places for establishing the purport of this chapter is called this thing, and the logic here is Yasya Artyasya Sadhane Tasya
Yukti Shruyate
Yukti Shruyate Tadeva
Saeva Tatparyartha.
So in this particular this thing, that Shruti may not give any yukti, because Shruti is the final pramanam, but here yukti is given for the mind which needs yukti, and also to show that it is not illogical. And then example was given of
Yeah,
from
you can
Chandogya
explain this
itself.
one because that was the part of the class.
Example was given from Chandogya Shruti. Here it is shown that the vision of the Shruti, which is given, that the Brahman alone, there's only one non-dual Brahman and everything else is avastu. That is indicated here by giving the example of earthenware pots and clay. So it is shown that the karanam, the karya karana yukti is given to show that everything that is pots is really not there. It is non-substantial, and it's only name and form, and it is vikara. It's a karya, and anything which is karya.
It is little bit we have to tell in a more systematic manner.
It's a go systematic.
No.
Slower.
Yeah, okay.
High systematic is slow.
Yeah, okay.
So he's saying that by knowing one clay, all earthen pots are known. Because by knowing the cause, the karya is known, because karya is itself not there. Karya is vikara namadiyam vacharambanam, which is there only in the mouth, which is just a name showing that it is mithya. So the yukti here used is the karya karana logics to show that.
What is karya karana logic?
Logic is that whatever is the effect is really not there. It is a vastu, it is a karya, it is mithya, and what is really there is only the vastu, which is satyam.
Karyam mithya, karanam satyam.
So by establishing the mithyatvam of the karyam, the karanam is established as non-dual Brahman, is shown as non-dual Brahman with the help of yukti. With the help of yukti.
Mm.
And this, what else was there? The logic here is which is yat karyam tad vastu. Yat karyam avastu. Yat karyam tad avastu, yat karanam tad vastu. So similarly, this whole jagat is mithya because it is namadeyam, vicharambanam, and only one non-dual Brahman is satyam. And thus the vision of non-dual Brahman being only one is established. And thus with all these six, and thus this non-dual Brahman is the tattparyam of this, and just because yukti is given of this non-dual Brahman, so therefore this non-dual Brahman is the tattparyam of this chapter. Thus with all these six lingas, the tattparya vishaya of the subject matter of the chapter is
Tattparya vishaya of subject matter.
The subject matter, the purport of the
Tattparya vishaya of subject matter.
the purport of the
Yes. Good, very nice attempt. So we are seeing the topic of Jnana Sadhanam, which is the main topic of the 5th chapter. Jnana Sadhanam Jato Ekvachanam, Jnana Sadhanani ityartha. So Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Samadhi, these are the 4 sadhanas. And out of these 4, the Shravanam topic P so far, and Shravanam was presented as ascertaining the Tatparya of Shruti with the help of 6 indicators. And these 6 indicators were described. The last one was Prakarana Pratipadyartha Sadhane Tatra Tatra Shruyamana Yuktihi Upapattihi. The last one is Upapattihi. The last indicator is Upapattihi. And Upapatti means Yuktihi, the reasoning, logic, which is Tatra Tatra Shruyamana, which is mentioned in various places. And this Yukti is for what purpose? Prakarana Pratipadyartha Sadhane. Upapatti Linga, Tatparya Linga Upapatti is in the form of reasoning mentioned in various places. Sadhane, Nimitta Saptami also, Vishaya Saptami. So, for the purpose of establishing or with regard to the establishment of Artha, the subject matter, which is Pratipadya, which is the purport of Prakarana, of the chapter. So, Prakarana Pratipadyartha Sadhane, for establishment of the subject matter, which is the purport of the chapter, a given reasoning is called Upapattihi. So upapatti, the reasoning, also becomes a linga. And reasoning here, the upapatti is in the sense of reasoning given for establishing the main subject matter. And the logic we had seen, yasya upapadane or yasyartha sadhane, यस्य अर्थस्य साधने युक्तिः श्रूयते सः तात्पर्यार्थः. So that is the तात्पर्यार्थ in whose establishment the reasoning is given. And he gives the example. Yatha, just as tatra in the 6th chapter, advitiya vastu sadhane, in the establishment of the non-dual reality, yuktihi shruyate, this logic is heard with regard to vacharambana matratve, with regard to the nominal existence or the status of being produced by organ of speech, vikarasya, of any product. These upapattihi. So the logic which is heard with regard to vacharambana matratve, with regard to the status of being produced by the organ of speech, means mithyatva, of vikara, the product. For what? Establishing the non-dual reality. So here two stages yukti is there. Advitiya vastu sadhane vacharambana matratvam is yukti. Why the reality is non-dual? Because the world is mithya. Okay? And why the world is mithya? Because the world is a product. And being a product, it is only having nominal existence. And why this product will have only nominal existence? And nominal existence is referred to by the word namadheyam and vacharambana matram. So product is mithya because it is a product. So word is mithya because it is a product. And why product is mithya? Because it is namadheyam. It is only a name. And since it is only a name, it is what? Vacharambana matram. It is only started by the organ of speech. And why is it so? Because mrittika ityeva satyam. Karana alone exists. Karana alone exists. Therefore what? Karyam must be mithya. Karanam alone exists means Karyam does not exist. And Karyam does not exist but still appears to be there. Therefore what? It has got only nominal existence. It is only started by the organ of speech. And therefore it is mithya. Something is not there but appears to be there. That is called mithya. Something does not exist but only have nominal existence. That is called mithya. Thus, vacharambana matratve, with regard to vacharambana matra, status of vikara, yukti is given. What is the yukti? Mrittika ityeva satyam. Karanameva satyam. Karanam alone exists. Therefore, karyam is only namadheyam. And therefore it is vacharambana matram. And therefore it is mithya. And since karyam is mithya, therefore karanam alone is satyam. Or whatever is karanam, that alone is satyam. So here what is said? That the jagat is a karyam and therefore it has got only a nominal existence and therefore it is vacharambhanam only. and therefore it is mithya. Therefore, karana or karanatva upalakshita Brahma is advitiyam. That is how the logic is given. Jagat is karyam, therefore it is namadheyam, therefore it is vacharambanam, therefore it is mithya, and therefore there is nothing other than this Brahma which is Karanam. And therefore Brahman is established as Advitiyam. In simple words, if we say, for establishing the non-duality of Brahman, the Mithyatvam of Jagat is established with the Yukti. What is the Yukti? That Karyam is Mithya, Karanam is Satyam. In simple words, if we don't go exactly by word to word, the simple idea conveyed is this much. That for establishing the non-duality of Brahman, Jagat is presented as Karyam, Brahman is presented as Karanam, and Yukti is used with the help of the example. The Mrittika Ghata example, Yukti is used. What is the Yukti? Logic is Yat Karyam Tad Mithya, Yat Karanam Tadeva Satyam. And based on that logic, this Jagat is established to be Mithya, and thereby Brahman is established to be Advitiyam. So Advitiyatvam of Brahman is established by showing the Mithyatvam of Jagat, and Mithyatvam of Jagat is established by giving the Karya Karana logic. This is the simple steps involved. And how this Karya Karana logic helps, because Karya Karana logic is in the form of Karyam Yat Karyam Tad Mithya, Yat Karanam Tad Satyam, and that is shown with the help of Ghata Mrit example. In this manner, for establishing the non-duality of Brahma, this logic is given. And therefore, that logic becomes the indicator for arriving at the Tatparyam of the 6th chapter in Advitiya Vastu. So, Advitiya Vastu Sadhane, with regard to or for the purpose of establishing the non-dual reality, Vikarasya Mithyatve Yukti Shruyate. Vacharambad Matratve can be translated as Mithyatve Yukti Shruyate. The reasoning is heard with regard to the unreality of product, which is Jagat Shruyate, is presented, and therefore the Yukti becomes the indicator. Based on the reasoning, why reasoning becomes an indicator, Shruyamana Yukti becomes reasoning an indicator, because there is a reason, there is a logic. Yasya sadhane yukti shruyate saha arthaha tatparyarthaha. And based on that logic, logic becomes indicator. Is it clear? That is how it is. Alright. And thus with these 6 indicators, we arrive at the Tatparyam. But you may have this question, Swami, but when we are studying, we are not saying in this manner. We don't study. But every now and then, Acharya will say this. Student himself may not be able to see, but Acharya will show, see, this idea is repeated. Therefore, there is emphasis. And the result is given. Result of Brahma Vidya is given. So that it is indicator that a Tatparyam is there. And generally what we do at the end, we do that how, see, here repetition is there, Upakrama it is this, Upasamhara. I think every Upanishad we used to do that. So that we are following that particular format and understand that the Shruti has Tatparyam in this. Alright. Thus, Tatparyavadharanam by 6 lingas is the Shravanam. Now, the next topic will be Mananam. But before going to that, we will see what is the purpose served by the sadhana of Shravanam. The first purpose served is Ajnana Nivrittihi, removal of ignorance. So by Shravanam, my ignorance about myself being Brahman is removed. Means, earlier I did not know that I am Brahman because I was not exposed to Pramana. Until you do Pramana Vyapara, Prama cannot happen. So, Shravanam removes the ignorance by the operation of the means of knowledge in the form of Acharya Mukheda Vedantasya Shravanam. Thus, Shravanam is helping me to remove the ignorance by the operation of the means of knowledge. And operation of the means of knowledge is called Shravanam. So Shravanam is essentially what? Operation of the means of knowledge. And the operation of the means of knowledge in the context of Brahma Jnanam is in the form of being exposed to this teaching of Vedanta from a competent teacher. And thus, Shravanam helps me to remove the Ajnanam. Ajnanam of what? Ajnanam of the vision of Shruti about myself being Brahman. Before Shravanam, I did not know that I am Brahman. How Shruti looks upon me, that was not known to me. So now I know that yes, I am Brahman. This is how I understand from the Pramanam which is Shruti. So Ajnana Nivritti happens. But here Ajnana Nivritti should be understood in the restricted sense. Because Ajnanam in a technical way, Mula Ajnana Nivritti, that does not happen. Otherwise Manana Nidhyasana not required. But Ajnana Nivritti means I am no more ignorant about the fact that yes, I am Brahman. That fact was not known to me. Now this fact is known to me. That can be fraught with doubt, but at least known to me. A person who is exposed to Vedanta for some sufficient length of time, that person cannot say, I don't know who am I. He cannot say. He can say, yes, from Shruti, if a person has done Shravanam well, the person has to say, yes, I am Brahman. This is how the vision of Shruti is about me. But he can say, after one but can be there. But I have a doubt about it. But he cannot say anymore that I do not know at all who am I. If Shravanam is done well, this Ajnanam is gone in this manner. No more ignorant about the fact. But I can have a doubt. That's a different thing. But I cannot say, I don't know. Swami, what is this Brahman? What is this Atma? That type of thing will not be there. He knows that in the vision of Shruti, I am Brahma. That the vision of Shruti about myself being Brahman was not known to me earlier. Now it is known. That is called Ajnana Nivritti. Okay. So removal of Ajnanam is the first benefit of Shravanam. Alright. The second is Pramana Asambhavana Nivrittihi. If a person has done Shravanam properly, the way it is described, Shadvida Lingaihi Tatparyavadharanam, if it is done, then this Pramana Asambhavana. Pramana Asambhavana means sense of impossibility regarding the Tatparyam of Shruti. Shruti cannot have Tatparyam in Advaita. That is called Pramana Sambhavana. And that is gone when a person has done Shravanam properly. It's an interpretational problem. It's a problem related to the interpretation of Shruti. Many people ask this question, Swamiji, Shankaracharya ji was a great teacher. Ramanujacharya was not anywhere less. And Madhvacharya also was not anyway great scholars. They have got big followers. You have only 50 followers. Madhvacharya has got thousands of followers. Ramanujacharya has got thousands of followers. Shankaracharya ji also has. And in that sampradaya, in each sampradaya, that Acharya, Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya are considered to be avatara. So Ramanujacharya also is, I think, is considered to be avatara. They consider that is avatara. Shankaracharya is avatara of Shiva. Ramanujacharya also avatara. Then Madhvacharya also is avatara. In fact, they say the specific of this avatara.
Sheshnag.
Sheshnag is Ramanujacharya. I don't remember exactly. Therefore, I will see and tell you. But they consider avatara. So each one of them is considered avatara. Then how can from the same source book, Prasthanatraya, all three of them read the same version and they come out with a different Tatparya? It is like the people see the same gallery and somebody said it is Swami Dayananda's gallery. They think this is not Swami Chinmayananda's gallery. No, it is that Swami Ramananda's gallery. How can it be possible? It's not possible. They went to the same gallery. So here, Shankaracharya ji read same Brahma Sutra, same Upanishad and same Bhagavad Gita. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya read same Bhagavad Gita, same Upanishad. And one comes out with Advaita alone is Satyam. Other comes out with Vishishta Advaita is Satyam. And this Madhvacharya Advaita is Satyam. So how is it possible? And therefore, based on my what is called respect for Madhvacharya, he done such a great thing. Ramanujacharya went to this downtrodden people. And he was so generous that there is a story about him, that his guru gave him a mantra, Om Namo Narayanaya. And he says, if one chants this mantra, he will be free from papa and all this. But he said, don't tell anybody. If you tell, you will go to Naraka. But he went out and he told, he said, let me go to Naraka, but let everybody get benefited. Such a great character he is. So, I think what he understood must be right. Advaita cannot be right. Otherwise, he would have found out. If I can find out, then he should have found out. That's what in fact, many people when come with some big business proposal and they talk to me, I ask one question. I said, you are telling this is very profitable and all this, but how come it is occurring to you and why is not occur to others? Should occur. There must be some challenges. Either any speciality because of which you can do this business, others have not done or others are not doing. That is my question to them. Then they will tell, oh, this reason. But this question will come that how come it did not occur to Ramanuja? We are understanding Advaita is the Tatparya. So how come Ramanuja did not understand? How come Madhvacharya did not understand? And because of that, what? This Pramana Asambhavana Buddhi. Here Pramana Asambhavana means what? Pramana Tatparya Visheka Asambhavana. That Shastra cannot have this Tatparyam. Shastra cannot have Advaita as a Tatparyam. That type of sense of impossibility related to Pramana, means Pramana Tatparya, is removed by this Shravanam. And what do we say? We say that when you are doing Pramana Vichara, don't go by person. Don't go by person, that this person is great, that person is great. Even great people can commit small mistakes. Or mistakes, small or big, can commit. Many scientists in the past, they committed mistake which was discovered by others. That, oh, he missed this point. And then later on corrected. They missed some data. They committed a mistake. So, first of all, you keep this personal consideration aside. Then only you will be able to appreciate. That way, Swamiji was telling that we should have this scientist spirit. In this manner, scientist spirit. Scientists will not say, oh, my physics teacher was so great and he said like this, therefore it cannot be wrong. He will not think like this. In fact, that he also can be wrong. He is great, it can be wrong. When we were small, by our parents, some ideas were given and we found out that were wrong. Some of them can be wrong. But it doesn't mean my respect for that person goes away. That is how they were taught. They were innocent. And they did not have time and mind to inquire further, therefore they told. It's alright. But we don't bring this person in the mind, in the picture. And then let us inquire. And when we inquire and we are shown by this sampradaya, then we see it, that they are showing the Tatparyam in this manner. And Vishishtadvaiti, they also will be showing Tatparyam in a particular manner. And we see the fallacy. That they are saying that Tattvamasi is Atatvamasi. The Vakya is that Tat Satyam Sa Atma Atatvamasi. You see, why Atatvamasi, you are not that need not be told. See, when teaching is given and all of a sudden say that Paramatma you are not, it sounds, it doesn't sound in the flow Swarasika. Because it is already known to me. It is not something to be told. Doesn't require to be told. You see, Apurvata is not there. So I can see the fallacy. Of course, Sampradaya will show, and we have some trust in Sampradaya, that also works. Therefore, some punyam also is required to go to the right Sampradaya. Because in every Sampradaya they will say that this is the only thing, you have come to a right place. If you had not come to us, you would have really suffered in the samsara. Everyone will say. Like every shopkeeper will say, अच्छा वो आप हमारे पास आ गए, नहीं तो सब लोग आपको लूट लेते. Inside you will tell, now I only would loot. That's a different thing. So, we see how the Shadlingas are there and they are working. And therefore, when we do Shravanam, then we do not have any Asambhavana Buddhi, that how Advaita can be this Tatparyam. We have seen that this is how it starts, this is how it ends, this is how repeated, 9 times repeated. And therefore, there must be Tatparya in this. And once we have establishment of Tatparya in one Upanishad, then in other place also we see. And even if some lingas are missing, doesn't matter. Because we have seen that in Chandogya it is very clearly said, and therefore the reality of Chandogya Upanishad cannot be different from the reality of Mundaka Upanishad. And thus, interpretational problems, Pramana Asambhavana, is removed by Shravana. And then third one is, benefit of Shravanam is Shruti Virodha Parihara. Different Shrutis will be talking about, appear to be talking about different things. So, really speaking, Virodha Parihara, it is not Virodha Bhasa Parihara. Shruti Virodha Bhasa Parihara. The resolution of apparent contradictions of Shruti. If we superficially read the Shruti Vakyas, we may find contradiction. Like, we have the Shruti Vakyas which may support Dvaitam. How? Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhayo Dvaitam. And in Mundaka Upanishad, that Yatha, what is called Yatha Pavakat Vispulingaha Sahasrasha Prabhavante Tatha Aksharat Somya Bhavaha Sarupaha. So it looks like that all the jivas are born of Ishvara and they are like sparks of fire. Spark is what? Amsha. So it looks like Vishishta Dvaita is there. So we have Shruti for Dvaita, seems to be supporting Dvaita, supporting this Vishishta Dvaita, Amshamshi Bhava, part-whole relationship. And we have Tattvamasi, you are that. And to remove the doubt in Kaivalya Upanishad, Tattvameva Tvameva Tat. That alone you are. You alone are that. Leaving no scope for doubt. So we have such Advaita Pratipadaka, Ekameva Advitiyam. The Shruti also is there. And therefore there seems to be contradiction. And those contradictions are resolved by Shravanam. If a person has done Shravanam properly, then he will not have the idea of this Shruti Virodhabhasa, that there is a contradiction. How come this Shruti says this Shruti says this? If Shravanam is done, that person will be able to place every Shruti properly. He will say that this Shruti is from Vyavaharika standpoint, this Shruti is from Paramarthika standpoint, therefore both are right. Like magician created fire. From perception angle, if you see, magician created fire. But really magician did not create fire. He did not create fire. He made fire appear to be created. But perceptually speaking, he created fire. He cut the girl or he did not cut the girl. Both our statements are right. The magician cut that girl on the table. Correct? That's what we saw. That's why I told you, one magician was doing, that audience, one lady said, usko jaldi zinda karo. Means make that girl alive. Because she thought really she was cut. So, magician cut the girl on the table. Is a statement. A statement can be given. Because that is how it appeared. But he did not cut. If he has really cut, the police who is there in the audience will come and arrest him. And how many girls, he will every day 3 shows are there. How many girls he has to bring? Who will give girls like that? Therefore, it did not cut. Also is a statement. So we understand. We don't say that statement should not have been there. We should not say that, Shruti should not have said it. Dvasuparna Sayujasaka, unnecessary confusingness. That has a place. Experientially, that is how it is. Shruti wants to show the contrast between the Jiva and Ishvara's nature. Jivas and Ishvara's features based on Upadhi. There is a difference between the Upadhi based features of Jiva and Upadhi based features of Ishvara. That Shruti wants to show. Therefore, that is required. And from the standpoint of Karya Karana, and which is at the level of Upadhi, Amsham Shiva also is possible. And Paramarthika Satyam is this. Therefore, there is no Shruti Virodha. Shruti Virodha Bhasaha is there, but Shruti Virodha is not there. And that is the benefit of this Shravanam. If a person has done Shravanam well, he will not be frightened by the description given in Shruti. We said, how will I interpret? If somebody asks me about that Shruti, I will be in trouble. That type of thing will not happen. As I told you, one person was telling, So he was teaching Vedanta. He said, I am Swamiji always afraid. If somebody asks me about the Raju Sarpa, this example, this aspect of Raju Sarpa, I don't know what will I say. So he is afraid of somebody asking this. Similarly, he will be afraid. Oh, if somebody says Dvasuparna Sayuja, how do you say that Tattvamasi? You are not afraid. Vedantina manaha na khidyate. He said, yes, it is there. He will not say, oh, it is prakshipta, means it is interpolated. Some people do like this. Anything they cannot handle, say it is interpolated. It is not there really. That is not the approach. Any statement of the Shruti, we can handle. Means, we do not find the contradiction, real contradiction in any statement of Shruti. We are able to place every Shruti in its place. Put it in its place. Therefore, Shruti Virodha Parihara happens. If Shruti still bothers you, oh Swamiji, this Shruti always bothers me. Even in dream it comes. If that is the situation, it means Shravanam na paryaptam. Adhikam Shravanam kuru. Punaha Shravanam kuru. Somya. So you do it Shravanam again. That's how. So Shravana, 3 benefits are there. Ajnana Nivrutti, Pramana Sambhavana Nivrutti, and third is Shruti Virodha Bhasa Parihara. Shruti Virodha Parihara. Alright. Now the Mananam is explained in the next paragraph, next sentence. Mananam tu Shrutasya Advitiya Vastunah Vedanta Nuguna Yuktibihi Anavaratam Anuchintanam. Mananam is Anuchintanam. Mananam is translated as reflection or deliberation. Is Anuchintanam. Is a Chintanam as a follow-up. Anuchintanam, thinking in keeping with or as a follow-up. Anavaratam means constantly. The sadhana of Mananam is considered to be Mananam only when it is done constantly, regular basis. Like once in a month I am doing Swamiji about, I very deeply think about it. Once in a month, every day, every Sunday, first Sunday of the month, I am thinking. That is not technically considered to be Manana. You can say some casual thinking. But technically Mananam, when technically you can say you are committed to the sadhana of Mananam when it happens anavaratam, constantly. Till what? Till conviction comes. Till conviction comes, there is constant, a person remains with that most of the time. So anavaratam, regularly, constantly. Anuchintanam, the thinking as a follow-up of Shravanam. Anuchintanam, Shravanam Anuchintanam. And how is it done? Yukti bihi, through logic, with the help of reasoning, logic. What type of logic? Vedantanuguna, in keeping with the Veda, in keeping with Vedanta, agreeable to Vedanta, in keeping with the vision of Vedanta. And this Anuchintanam is of what? Advitiya Vastunaha, the reality, non-dual reality, tasya, Advitiya Vastunaha Anuchintanam. Thinking about non-dual reality. And is it something you do in the beginning itself? Just Swamiji, I would not like to start with Shravanam. I would like to go to Mananam directly. No, Shrutasya. the non-dual reality which is heard, which is listened to. So you do mananam on something which has been listened to by you during the sadhana of Shravana. That is why this mananam which we talk about is not like a speculative reasoning. Pujya Swamiji used to use the word is an armchair thinking. You are sitting in your armchair and then you think, it may be like this, it may be like this. Speculative. Not that. Shrutasya advitya vastunaha. Means what? You have already arrived at the tatparyam of Shruti as advitya vastu. In that you don't have doubt anymore. It is done as anuchintanam. It is after that. And therefore, this advitya vastu which is heard, and about that advitya vastu, there is anuchintanam. And this anuchintanam is with the help of reasoning. Why? Because the mananam is primarily meant for removing the doubts based on apparent contradiction with other means of knowledge. Means, Shruti wants to say that Advitiya Brahma alone is reality. Brahman is the reality which is Advitiyam, non-dual. Jagat is not separate from that Brahman and you are not separate from Brahma. So, Jiva Jagat Bheda Rahita Vastu is Brahman. This is called Advitiya Vastu. So, Shruti wants to say that only. But then, now you have got this problem. But our Pratyaksha Anubhava is not like this. I am seeing only variety. And based on my Vyavahara also, through Anumanam, if we do Anumanam, then Dvaitam alone is established. If Dvaitam is not reality, transaction will not be possible. Transaction is possible. Therefore, Dvaitam alone must be Satyam. Thus, there is a contradiction with the Shruti Tatparya Vishaya with the other means of knowledge. So there is a contradiction now between what Shruti says and what other pramanas seem to reveal. And therefore, we require now logical analysis. And that logic we used should be based on some data. Here, Yukti, when it is said, it refers to either Arthapatti Pramanam or it refers to Anumanam primarily. Anuman and Marthapatti are generally presented as Yukti. And Arthapatti or Anumanam will be always based on some data. Arthapatti is based on some data. Upapadya Gnanena Upapadaka Kalpanam. That is Arthapatti. You presume the presumption of responsible factor from the effect which is produced. That is Arthapatti. And similarly, Anumanam is also based on some Vyapti. And thus, Anumana or Arthapatti can operate based on some data. It is a data-based pramana. And now question is, where do you collect your data from? In this Mananam, primarily we use data from Shruti. And that idea is conveyed by the word Vedantanuguna Yuktibihi. Anumana and Arthapatti are the yukti used for mananam, and this yukti, Anumana Rupa Yukti, Arthapatti Rupa Yukti, is based on scriptural data primarily. The data which are provided by Shruti. Why not we use this Laukika data? Science is using the worldly data only. Science, what does it do? Science will have observation through instruments. But behind the instruments, sense organs only are there. So sensory data is there. And based on sensory data, the inferences will be made. Inventions are made. These conclusions are drawn. Theories are made. But basis is what? Pratyaksha only. So Pratyaksha provides the data and Anumanam is done, conclusions are drawn. But in the same manner, this Mananam about Brahmatmak Dhanam is not done. Why? Because when you are using the data from the Pratyaksha, that Pratyaksha Labhya Prapancha is what? Drishya Prapancha. Pratyaksha Prapancha is what? Drishya Prapancha. Drishya is what? Anatma. And when you derive the data from Anatma Prapancha, your conclusion will be what? Conclusion will be regarding Anatma only. Anatma data based conclusion will be regarding Anatma only. So when you have drawn the conclusion based on the data received from Anatma Prapancha, that conclusion also will be what? About Anatma only. And for Atma, only Shruti is a Pramanam. Therefore, to derive the conclusion regarding Atma, we have to use the data from the scriptures only. Like if I want to derive the conclusions about the colors, then I have to derive the data from this visual world only. And similarly, I derive the conclusions with the help of yukti based on the data provided by the scriptures. Therefore, this mananam is with the help of yukti, which is based on the data provided by Vedanta. That is said here, Vedantanam guna yuktitihi. Mananam is done with the help of reasoning in keeping with the statements of Vedanta. In other words, the yukti based on the data provided by Vedanta. Thus, Vedantanuguna yuktibihi anavaratam anuchintanam, that is mananam. People sometimes they miss this point and they think they are doing mananam, but they are doing mananam in the manner which is not prescribed in the Shastra, which is not really helpful for getting Brahmajnana. Remember that science says certain things is right, but what science says is right in the empirical level. Vyavaharika level, science says is correct. But what Shastra says is true at Paramarthika level. When Shastra is talking about Paramartha Satyam, then what Shastra says is true at Paramarthika level. And science seems to be saying something opposite, but it is true at a Vyavaharika level. And we see that there is no contradiction. What science says and what Vedanta says, there is no contradiction. Because science is seeing or science is analyzing in the Vyavaharika level. They don't have the concept of Paramarthika. And therefore, what science says and what Vedanta says, there is no difference. There is not difference. There is a difference but not contradiction. Why? The levels are different. Right? As I said, the magician cuts the girl and does not cut the girl. Both are correct. One is the apparent level, other is factual level. No difference. In this movie, this actor killed the other actor. Perceptually it's true. In fact, you will say that this actor really killed a fellow. But actually it didn't happen. So, we see that what science is saying is from empirical, vyavaharika level. Vedanta is saying pramarthika level. There is no contradiction. This also is a part of Mananam. Because nowadays, we do not have contradiction from Nayayikas and Mimamsaka and all. Primarily, our Purvapaksha is science. Science says like this. So we say that science is saying at the level of this Vyavahara. Vedanta is saying at the level of Paramarthika. They will say, Swamiji, our brain is the locus for this mind. See that you are telling it is at the level of the gross world. Whereas we are talking about the subtle mind which nobody has seen. And therefore, this Vedanta is saying, and what scientist or scientific conclusion is, there is no contradiction. Because the level of operations are different. And therefore there is no contradiction. And science also will slowly, or obsessively what science was telling, science also will say, no, it's not exactly like this, it seems to be like this. Then we understand that they are not very sure. When obsessively they were telling it cannot be so, that obsession science will slowly reduce. Because it is operating at a particular level. And therefore, when that level itself is kept in focus, then they will have a particular conclusion. Vedanta is not focusing on that level which you think is the level of discussion. The level of discussion itself is different. And therefore, there is no contradiction. More we do Mananam, these all contradictions are resolved. Scientists are saying like this, that matter is the fundamental because consciousness emerges from matter. And you are saying that the consciousness is most fundamental. Because they have not understood what is consciousness. So many people say that consciousness is increasing, reducing, and you say consciousness is free from any ups and downs. It's different. So when we understand that what they mean by consciousness and what Shastra means by consciousness are different, therefore what? Virodha Parihara. And that is done by Manana. More about this we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.